If you're suffering from congestion like this guy, you might want to try this. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I just picked up this. It's by SinuSonic. Now, this device here is not super unique. I've seen some other brands offer something like this, but I have never tried it out, and I am super excited about trying it out because it's supposed to be kind of a natural way to help clear out your sinuses. Now, here it is in the fall. I guess it's winter, actually. The humidity in my house isn't as high as I would normally like it. It's kind of dry. I get kind of congested. I'm kind of congested anyway, and I use some things to kind of stay decongested sometimes, but especially in winter weather, or especially in weather changes, sometimes I'll even have to go to a decongestant to kind of clear myself up. So I picked up this because it's not a drug. It's kind of natural in many ways. Now, one of the things that I noticed about this, as I unbox it, we get a little kind of canvas bag right here, is that even though this thing seems to work indefinitely, you are only supposed to use it for 6 months at a time and then get another one. So you got to keep that in mind. Now, the reason I picked this one up is because this was one of the least expensive ones I could find. They certainly kind of cover the price categories on this. Now, the reason that you don't use this for more than 6 months apparently is because even though it's not really creating moisture or anything, what you are doing is breathing potentially into this, leaving some moisture, and that can lead to microbes or bacteria or something like that over longer periods of time that might not be healthy for you. So while I don't know that there's anything magical about 6 months, I will tell you that they don't recommend using it any longer than that. First of all, we get this plastic body right here. I can hear something moving in it. It's kind of disconcerting, but I think that's actually important. And actually, I think it's right up here. I think it's kind of like a valve. There seems to be like a ball bearing on a valve, and I think that's to allow you to exhale and release the air, but it's kind of pressurizing air into your nose. So we have what looks like a silicone cup. That'll go over your nose. If you have a really big nose like me, seems to fit. All right. And this is going to kind of push air in, but as you exhale out, I think it's going to release through there. But it sounds like something's broken, all right? The other thing that you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to remove this little plastic tab here. Ooh, she's making some music, sounding like she is awake. But what this does is it has a battery in it, and I'm guessing maybe that'll go dead after 6 months because I don't see any cords. I don't see any ports anywhere to plug anything in, Then what we have on the front here is a little trigger, a little button to turn it on. Now, what this will do is this will run for 3 minutes and then automatically turn itself off. So I think you wait till it seems like it's done, and it will make a noise indicating that it is finished doing what it is doing. Now, I don't know all of the science about what's going on, but what I think this does is you put it on, you kind of create a good seal around your nose, but it doesn't have to be super airtight is what I heard. You don't have to sweat, maybe that it's not perfectly pressed up against your skin. You just kind of want to have some light pressure covering your nose. But then what you will do is you will turn it on, and then it's going to kind of create overpressurization, I believe, kind of pushing back into your nasal cavity. But then it's also using some sort of sonic waves to kind of clear you up. So I'm kind of curious what that feels like and if it works, because it might tickle, I feel a little bit like, and it might not really work. So I'm a little bit congested right now, maybe a little post-nasal drip. You can maybe hear me, I'm talking a little nasally. So I'm kind of curious about trying this. Once I start this, I will probably tell you what it feels like, and then I will let it run for the full 3 minutes, but I will probably cut out the middle portion of that because it'll probably get a little boring. And then we'll see if we think it works. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and put it on. If you're wearing glasses, you might want to just take them off. All right. So I've got a decent seal. I think you are going to want to breathe through your nose. So I think you're going to want to close your mouth and just kind of breathe normally through your nose like this while this thing is doing its work, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it on now. All right. I can hear it buzzing. So I can definitely feel it buzzing, and it's definitely creating some pressure in my nose here. And what you want to do is you actually want to breathe in through your nose and exhale through your nose. And what you want to do is when you blow out through your nose, you'll feel it fluttering a little bit around the mask here. So let me see if I can catch that on camera for you. So there's this little fluttering when I exhale, and apparently that is what is supposed to happen. That means it is working. So I think we're coming up on the 2 minutes here, and you can hear that it just went off. Now, I will say, I don't know that this was the best test because I was talking a little bit through it, but I was kind of doing what it said. There is a little bit of like a wintergreen or a minty type of smell. So I don't know if they put something in there just to make it kind of pleasurable, but it smells pretty good. And I mean, I'm still a little congested, but I do feel like my nasal passages are a little bit more opened up, if that makes sense. I wouldn't say that I feel like, wow, I'm just decongested. If you've ever taken like an antihistamine, I think that's what it is, like a decongestant, after about 20 or 30 minutes, when that starts kicking in, man, you feel dried out and you definitely feel like the nasal passages are open. But, especially on this side, I think you only breathe out of one nostril at a time. I do feel like that is opened up more. It's kind of weird. Now, again, not as much as using like a drug decongestant, but that's pretty awesome. Even for not using this exactly the way they said to use it, because like I said, I was trying to capture my thoughts while I was using it too. It definitely seems to work. I don't see anything about it saying like you can only use it once a day or every 12 hours or something like this. It actually says current recommendation, 2 times per day or as needed. So apparently you could potentially use it more, I guess. So I might just use it again. The other thing it says is if you are feeling like you get a runny nose, stop using it, blow your nose while you're doing that. And a lot of people are saying that it cleared them right up. So I will tell you what, with my quick first time use right there, I'm definitely feeling better. And I love the fact that I don't have to take a drug. I don't feel like I am using anything that is unnatural per se. I mean, it's basically pressurized air and kind of sonic waves as far as I can tell. So that kind of makes me feel a little bit better about using it. And even if it doesn't work as well as maybe some of the medications, I feel like I'm not throwing stuff in my body which is maybe hurting other organs or something like that. So I'm pretty intrigued by this. I will continue to use this. No more than 1,000 minutes or 6 months, whatever comes first. But this definitely could be a companion of mine anytime the weather starts changing, like in the fall to winter or from the winter to spring. I definitely get congested around those periods of time. So if you want to pick this up, I'll put a link to it because this one was the cheapest one I could find. And I don't know, seems to work so far. I'm pretty impressed. I'll put a link to this in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper.